The earth felt unbearably heavy that day. Every shovel of dirt slammed onto the coffin like thunder. My palms burned with blisters, and my knees bled through the grass. I was completely alone. Across town, my family raised crystal glasses of champagne, celebrating while I lowered my boy into the ground. Then my phone buzzed. A message from Mom: "Stop being dramatic. This is urgent." Urgent? She meant my dead son's $850,000 trust fund. I should have known. My family never cared for him the way I did. To them, he was nothing but a burden, another bill they didn't want to deal with. To me, he was my world. 9 years of laughter, scraped knees, bedtime whispers in the dark. The only good thing I ever created. When he died, my world went silent. But their silence wasn't grief, it was greed. The first betrayal was small. I asked my sister to help with the funeral. She said she was too busy. Busy shopping for a new gala dress. Then Dad called and told me, "Don't make it a spectacle. Keep it cheap." I thought grief would pull us closer, but instead, it exposed them. The trust fund had been set aside by his father before he walked out on us. Money meant for my boy's future, for college, for life. But when he was gone, the vultures circled. I saw it in their words. Mom suddenly wanted to handle the paperwork. My brother asked about liquidation. The way they looked at me, it wasn't sympathy, it was calculation. I knew exactly what they were after. And I knew what I had to do. I didn't argue. I didn't scream. I nodded, letting them think I was broken, lost in grief. But behind closed doors, I moved quietly. I sat with the lawyer, combing through every clause, every tiny detail. And there it was, the loophole they missed. They couldn't touch a cent without my signature. Without my consent. So I didn't give it. Instead, I moved it, legally, quietly, into a foundation in my son's name. A foundation only I controlled. Meanwhile, I let them think they were winning. Mom sent me lists of things she'd buy: new furniture, jewelry, a vacation home. I never replied. Each message, each demand, was another nail in her coffin. I saved every single one. The showdown came at her house. She called a family meeting. The living room reeked of wine and entitlement. "We need to finalize access to the trust," she announced like a queen declaring war. My siblings nodded along, already dividing up money that wasn't theirs. I placed a folder on the table. Their eyes lit up like children at Christmas. But when they opened it, the room shifted. There were no checks. Only copies of texts, bank records, legal papers, and on top, a single sheet proving the fund had already been transferred to the Matthew Foundation. My son's name carved into the future. Untouchable. Silence hit first, then chaos. My sister screamed, "You can't do this." My brother slammed the table. Mom's face turned red with rage. "You selfish," she spat. That money was our chance. I leaned in, steady, calm. No. It was his. And now it will help children like him, not leeches like you. I didn't shout. I didn't need to. The power wasn't in volume. It was in precision. And I watched as realization spread across their faces. Their grand plans had crumbled. Their greed was documented, exposed, and destroyed. Every threat they spat out, I had already prepared for. Every angle was sealed shut. They were trapped by their own hunger. Mom lunged at me, tears streaking her face. "How could you betray us?" I stood tall. "Betray you?" My voice didn't shake. "You left me to bury my son alone. You drank while I dug. The betrayal was yours. She collapsed back into her chair, hollow and defeated. I walked out with the folder under my arm. Behind me, their voices exploded into screams, curses, the sound of glass shattering. But outside, the night was still. The stars glowed sharp and clear. For the first time since my boy died, I felt air in my lungs again. Now, the foundation carries his name. It pays for scholarships, medical bills, and futures for kids who deserve better than he ever got. Every month, I open letters and drawings from children, thank you notes from parents. His legacy is louder than my family's silence ever could be. They still call sometimes. Voicemails full of venom, threats, begging. I don't answer. Because revenge isn't about hurting them, it's about honoring him, making sure their cruelty never destroys another life. I buried my son with my own hands. But I buried my family with signatures, evidence, and silence. And when I visit his grave, I don't bring flowers. I bring news, about the children he's saving, the futures he's building. That's how I keep him alive. And that's how I buried them.